All right, let's look into tomorrow's Fed meeting. Announcement at 2:15 p.m. I want to make it real simple. Printing press exit strategy or not, King Dollar or not. Joining me now, former Dallas Fed head Bob McTeer and current First Trust Advisors chief economist Brian Westbury. This is going to be interesting because we basically have two supply-siders who do not agree, which is great fun. Now, Brian Westbury, I want to pose this conundrum to you. Just hang with me. I want to relate this to the stock market. When we had a jobs report in early June, just about a month ago, not quite, three and a half weeks ago, it came in half as bad. So the market really liked that. The bond boys priced in 6 Fed tightenings for an exit strategy. And I'm prepared to argue that since then, stocks have sold off. And I'm prepared to argue, and the market's going against me because I'm in the exit strategy King Dollar camp. But whatever, the market doesn't agree with me. The market stocks do not want an exit strategy. I think that's the clear evidence since that jobs report in early June. What's your take, my friend?
Yeah, Larry, I agree with you, and I don't think they're going to get one tomorrow. The Fed, it's kind of, this goes back to, I haven't heard Bernanke say it as clearly as Christina Romer said it, which was that if the Fed lifts, or the government lifts its foot off the pedal, like it did in the Great Depression, that's their argument, then we could have another problem in the economy. So I really doubt you're going to see any backing off by any government agency right now.
Put yourself in. You should be the Federal Reserve chairman someday because of your outstanding achievement. If you were in his shoes, would you, without touching the interest rate lever this month, tomorrow, would you postulate in the statement some kind of exit strategy discussion?
Absolutely, because I would argue that inflationary pressures are budding, that commodity prices are up, that the core rate of inflation has not fallen like you would expect if you're a Phillips curve and the unemployment rate was up. So I would argue that, yes, we need to start talking about an exit strategy right now.
Bob McTeer, I am for King Dollar. The dollar got hammered today, its worst day in 6 weeks, on the eve of the Fed meeting because it's sniffing out a continued printing press policy by the Fed. And I argue that the destruction of the dollar in the earlier part of from 2001 to 2008 destroyed the economy and built up the bubbles in housing and energy. Now, I know you don't agree. The stock market doesn't agree. Stocks want easy money. I do not. Robert McTeer, what are they going to do? How should stock people play this? Maybe they should go long in the morning because the Fed's not going to do anything to exit.
Well, I think they're going to be reassuring that they understand the need for an exit strategy and that they're on the case. I think they'll also be reassuring that now is not the time to implement it. It's sometime into the future because we are not out of the woods yet on the recession, although there are a lot of hopeful signs, and the banking system is still stressed. On the dollar, the way the Fed views the dollar is that it's floating, and that means they can do what they need to do with economic policy and let the dollar adjust to that rather than them adjust to the dollar.
See, Brian Westbury, you actually are agreeing, although you disagree on your goals, but what's going to actually happen is nothing. You know, it's funny, the reflation trade made a comeback today on the dollar. The dollar got smacked down, and the reflation trade for commodities, energy, and gold made a comeback. I'm not rooting for the reflation trade, Brian. I'm rooting for, I don't want the dollar to go up 30%. Just stabilize it. That's all.
I think, Larry, that this whole idea of the sideways market because of the Fed is exactly right. But here's what would happen. When the Fed raised rates, at first it would be a shock to the market. They'd be worried. But then it would be positive because the best thing for the long term is a strong dollar and a stable inflation rate.
Absolutely. You got it, buddy. I'm sorry, fellas. We got to jump. But I agree. I don't know. Brian Westbury, Robert McTeer, thank you for helping us. I still want King Dollar. Stocks will come to believe that scenario some point in my lifetime. More of the Kudlow Report coming up. Stay with us.